Hello, welcome to this week's video. This week I found a piece of yellow box burl in the shed. I'd passed over it many times before and I decided I might as well give it a go and see what I could make out of it. And I got the yellow box burl off a farm at Crichton's Creek, which is about an hour's drive north of here. The yellow box tree had fallen over a boundary fence and it had quite a few burls on it. It had a couple of big burls. One was about 650 kilos in weight, so they're massive burls, and I've cut them up into blanks, and the wood's got a lot of cracks and voids in them, and so most of the pieces that I make I need to fill them up with resin, or I fill them up with sawdust if I can. I'd prefer to fill them up with sawdust rather than resin, try and keep the natural look. So I thought I'd give this one a go, and I put it on the lathe and started turning it using a roughing gouge and also a half-inch spindle gouge. And I turned it into a size that I could fit into a small bowl. Anyway, I got it to fit nicely, and then mixed up some resin and used a blue colour. I seem to like the blue colour for some reason. And put it into the pressure pot, and normally I leave it for 24 hours to cure, but this time I was away for a little while and I did get back to it for a week. So it sat in the pressure pot for a little bit longer, which doesn't hurt it. Then once it came out, I put it onto the lathe and started turning the resin off. And when I'm turning the resin, you normally use a carbine tool, and it took a little while just to bring the bowl down to the natural wood. So using the carbine tools to form the bowl, it was fairly shallow and it just didn't look right. So I decided, it was an idea that came to my head at 2 o'clock in the morning, to put a little bit of wood on top of it and make it a little bit higher. And I found a piece of elm that I've had for quite a while. I got the elm from Margaret's farm many years ago. It's a beautiful wood, and I think I've nearly ran out of it. I don't think I've got any more of it left. So this might have been the last piece that I had. So once I cleaned up the face of the yellow box burl, I then glued the elm onto that. And of course the whole process does take a while. By the time I turned the yellow box burl down and then applied the resin to it, so that's a week or two, and then I glued up the elm and let it sit for a couple of days. So it does take quite a while just to make a little bowl, and if I was to sell the bowl, I don't think I'd make any money for the time and the effort that I've put into it. Of course, most of the jobs we do as wood turners are just for the love of it. I think this bowl will probably sit in the house for a little while, and it might end up being a Christmas present. I feel sorry for all our friends and family. We seem to be filling up their houses with all the woodwork that I'm doing. So once I turned it down into shape of the bowl, I sanded it and then finished it with a couple of coats of tung oil. So it's a nice little project. As I said, it did take a little while to do, but it's quite enjoyable just standing there turning away. So I've got a fair bit of the yellow box burl left, and it turns beautifully. It's nice and dry now, and of course the finish of it is nice and smooth, and it feels nice in the hand. It's got a beautiful finish. It's a really hard wood, and it seems to polish off beautifully. Anyway, that's about it for this week. I'm about to head out to the shed now and do a little bit more turning. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. I'll see you next time. Cheerio.